I can accomplish whatever I set my mind to. And
For sure.
and you have self-doubts that come up, but as long as you have that thought in your mind, like I can accomplish whatever I want to, you don't have nothing to worry about.
Purpose driven living, that's the motto. Purpose driven living, boy, that's the motto. If God orders my steps, then I'ma follow. We just steward the gifts that we borrow. Purpose driven.
Well, welcome everybody. This is the series Driven. If you haven't already, I strongly encourage you all to check out our previous episodes. In this series, the heart of it is where we take a look at regular people with purpose-driven lives. And I got a special guest, a good friend of mine, Greg Woodson. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Thanks for having me, man. Yeah, hey, absolutely, bro. When I thought about this series, there's folks that just immediately jumped in mind, and you were one of those. And so, at the heart of this series, I really wanted to tackle, how folks are, accomplishing their creative ventures, their businesses, their professional pathways. And for me, I really struggle with that imposter syndrome, thinking about, can I really do this as a rapper? Is this realistic as a career development professional? All these different areas of my life sort of wrestling with imposter syndrome. But looking at folks like yourself, that are sort of carving out their lanes, you guys really inspired. And then secondly, I think, at the heart of this series, being able to set goals and dreaming big. I think too often, we sort of look at our lives and we don't think that we have the capacity to dream big, whether we come from disadvantaged backgrounds or we just don't see folks that, are doing what we're interested in. And so, I really want to talk to you, bro, because I think your story is awesome. So without wasting time, man, Greg Woodson, aka Wood on the Beat, husband, father, producer, entrepreneur, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, what you do, and let the people know a little bit about you, man.
All right, so I'm originally from the Richmond, Virginia area. I was big into sports growing up. So, I was a football player like you. That's how we know each other. Played at JMU together. And so, growing up, you always think, you have a plan for your life, but you don't know that you aren't aware that things are going to change. So all while I'm growing up, I'm in love with football, in love with sports. So, my mindset is, all right, I'm going to go to the NFL. You know what I mean? My mind's set on it. And usually when I get my mind set on something, I'm set on it. So, go through high school. My high school team wasn't that good. So it kind of hindered recruiting and all that. But I ended up being able to come to JMU. And then when I got there, I kind of realized that my passion wasn't really football. And then I started reflecting on my life, and I started thinking about the fact that no matter where I went or what I was doing, music had to be involved.
Okay.
You know what I mean? As a kid, my mom and dad playing music in the car, I loved it. It gave me a great feeling. You know what I mean? I always had to have headphones. Like if we went on a trip somewhere, I had to have the CD player and the headphones.
Hi, at Lenore Coaching, we work with a wide variety of job seekers, including students, early career professionals, and experienced professionals, with services including job search strategy, career exploration, personal branding, networking, interview preparation, as well as resume and cover letter writing. So you guys can contact us first by reaching out to our website, which is www.lenorecoaching.com.
You can also contact us via social media. We have Instagram and Facebook pages, Lenore Coaching LLC.
Music. So then I started thinking, I was like, man, I really love music. And I think I might love music a little bit more than football. So while I was in college, I started, dabbling with rapping and stuff like that. And so then, I might be going off on a tangent here, maybe answering a little bit more than what you wanted to, but, started rapping, getting into that. And then I was doing that for a while, and then I had to sit back and reflect and now I've become a producer. So I hope that answered your question thoroughly.
Yeah, man. It's the cool thing is hearing, some of the repeat themes is like you sort of had this vision for what your life initially, what you wanted to do. But the reality is, change, it comes along for everybody, assessing your sort of passions and interests and so forth. And you kind of rode that wave with music.
Yes.
And even in that, sort of realm, it sounds like you've pivoted as well. I'm curious to hear from like the career journey perspective. So obviously you kind of shared that, going into college, your goal was to go to the NFL, to maximize your athletic experience. What for yourself was your mind frame in terms of career goals? So, NFL might have been one of those, but during your time in college, like what did you see yourself doing, long term, in terms of career goals?
So my dad is a big inspiration for me. He's always worked hard. I've always admired how hard he worked and how he, supported the family and stuff like that. So he's in the computer and information systems. He's in the whole programming thing. So I kind of just wanted to follow in his footsteps as far as like career path, because other than football, I really never even thought about career paths. So I was just like, well, let me just follow what my dad does. And just as time went on, I started to realize that that's not, really what I wanted to do. So I was in a position where I really didn't know, you know what I mean? It was like, all right, I'm not going to the NFL. I came to that realization. I'm not really into the programming, you know what I mean? Everybody has, you start thinking, all right, let me follow his path. But I mean, you know what I mean? You have to really deep down figure out what gets you excited. And that wasn't it. So then it was really just, you know what I mean? After I graduated, I got emailed by this car dealership in the area, and I needed a job, and I was just like, all right, let me go do this. So I went and did it, was doing really well. It was lucrative. So I was like, let me just do this for right now. And then we'll just, we take it day by day, you know what I mean? Month by month, and just figure out what I can do next, what I can put myself in position. Because I feel like this is something that a good trait of mine. Everybody has their flaws, but this is a good trait of mine. I think about a little bit in the future, and sometimes a little bit too much, where it makes me a little bit anxious. But I think about the future, and I think, all right, what can I do today to put myself in a better position in the future to get myself to where I want to go? So I'm like, all right, the music is what I'm passionate about. So what can I do to get myself in a position so that I can get, make music my career? So I start taking steps to doing that.
Right. That's solid, man. The cool thing that I heard from you is you build a bridge, man. So obviously you've had this vision for doing music, right? That never left your heart.
No.
So that was sort of your long-term goal. But what I heard from you in the short term was, how can I make money? Like how can I make a living? And for you, never really relinquishing that vision or that long-term goal with music, it sounded like the opportunity of being a car salesman. That was a very short-term goal, and it paid off, obviously, because it financially was able to provide for you. And I think that sometimes from folks that are creatives, we kind of struggle with that. I was talking to our first guest, Alex the Great, who's a spoken word artist. Folks that are creatives, we sort of struggle with like, I got to do this. Like if I'm a rapper, producer, if I'm a painter, whatever it is as a creative, like it's either this or bust. I can't do nothing else. But for you, you got a very logical thought process, it sounds like. So,
and to a certain extent, I kind of enjoyed it because I like people, you know what I mean? I like helping people. I like dealing with people. I just like being around people. So this is kind of like a drawback of like being a producer and working at my house is like, I kind of miss being around people. You know what I mean? It's fun to me. I like to joke. I like to laugh. And so I don't get the opportunity to do that. So that was an adjustment period. But honestly, the only thing that bothered me, I was working like 60 hours a week. So like, it really hindered the amount of time that I was able to put into my music, but I just made it work, man. If you really believe in something, you got to go hard.
Absolutely.
Hey family, it's your boy Quintrell Lenore here with brand new merch to keep you guys looking good this season. We have long sleeve, short sleeve, as well as hoodies. Check us out at gumroad.com/PDL apparel. We got all the swag you need to stay covered in purpose.
So I'm gonna transition a little bit to like the producer side, but I want to like give you a chance to provide like just feedback. It sounds like obviously continue to have that long-term goal for whatever it might be, but think short-term in terms of how can I get from A to B?
Yes.
You know, in the meantime, obviously you taking on the opportunity as a salesman that financially was able to sustain you to plant the seeds for being a producer. But even then, before you even got to then, you know, it sounds like, you know, your father, your family provided some sort of stability where like you could ask or just sort of assess, like, do I want to do the computer route? Or, you know, your frame of reference in terms of career was definitely inspired, at least initially, by what your parents done. So anyway, long story short, if you have any feedback for folks that, I don't know if this is a person that might be an early career professional or they're in college, or somebody that's trying to pivot altogether, what kind of feedback would you give them when you're thinking about you know, growing professionally, but also maybe, you know, trying to think long term for whatever their creative route or their entrepreneur route is?
So the best advice I can give somebody is just to really, because the world is so fast. You have social media and you have a lot of stuff that's clouding your mind and your judgment nowadays. And you know, when I made these decisions, the social media wasn't really that popular. I mean, it was, you had Facebook, but like, you know, you didn't have, like, they had Instagram, but it really wasn't what it is today, where it really distracts you from yourself. So at this time, I'm really self-aware, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? You really have to decide what makes you excited. What would you stay up all night for and not even care? Or, you know what I mean, what would make you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day and it does not bother you? What would you do for a couple of years and not make $1 and it would not bother you? So those are decisions that I made, and that was really my reality. Because working, you know, and I thought about the time right now. All right, so I have two options. I just graduated. I can go back and move back in with mom and dad and figure out what I want to do with my life. Or I can be a grown man and I can figure out what I need to do right now to take care of right now. Because, you know, I love my mom and dad, but moving back in with them, nah, I wasn't trying to do that. I love them to death, but like, you know what I mean? My mom's a little strict. My dad's cool, but like, you know what I mean? It just wasn't the situation. When I moved out to go to college, that was the last time I was really trying to live with them. So, you know, it was really just like, all right, what can I do right now to get myself in a position where I can still be free, not have to live with mom and dad? Because when you do that, you place extra pressure on yourself. If I would have moved back in with them, they would have been giving me their opinions, and you know what I mean? Because they didn't really care for me selling cars. So that every time I went around them, they're like, you know what I mean? How long you want to do that for? You don't want to start looking for something else to do? And you know what I mean? If you're very self-aware, you know what your plan is. You don't need somebody else to give you no advice. You already know in your mind. And I think that's very important, is if somebody were to just decide, all right, this is what I'm going to do, and no matter what, this is what it is, you're going to be way better off. You know, people doubt themselves, but you know, every single person on this earth has powers that we aren't aware of. And you have potential that you're not aware of. So my potential right now is, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I know for sure that I can accomplish whatever I set my mind to. And I, you know, and you have self-doubts that come up, but as long as you have that thought in your mind, like I can accomplish whatever I want to, you don't have nothing to worry about.
Bro, we can end the conversation right there, man. You just drop all the gems. And you know what's funny, Wood, is I didn't realize that about you in part of your story, where you said, so when you were a car salesman, and you're still developing, you know, trying to gain traction as a producer, that when you were around your folks, that they kind of gave a little bit of pushback, like, hey, what are you gonna do? And I think I think everybody can relate in the fact that you feel sort of this external pressure from people that you love. They don't got to be haters out there that's on social media. These are people that have a genuine interest in your life, that love you, and you get some pushback. Man,
my grandma pulled me to the side one day and was like, you should stop doing music. Like, she literally said that to me, and I was just like, Grandma, I love you, but when I set my mind to something, I'm gonna make it happen. And you know, I was very stern with her, and you know, sometimes I kind of regret how stern I was with her. And I didn't get disrespectful or get loud or anything. I was just like, Grandma, like, I respect your opinion, but like, you know, just politely, like, I don't need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just let me do what I'm gonna do.
Right. Well, I kind of want to ask you a question about that, Wood. So now, all right, you can kind of fast forward your life a little bit. You know, obviously, we'll dive into you how you got started with production. But now, is there a little flex where you say like, "Hey, look at me now," sort of deal when it comes to your folks?
Nah, I mean, like for my parents, they've always supported my music goals, but I could tell that they grew up in an era where, you know, the blueprint was to go to college, get a job, work that job, you know, move up in the company, get promotions. And now I'm making it aware to them that that's not the only way you can do it. You know what I mean? So now they, you know what I mean? If I have another project, I'm talking, you know, and I have something else I'm working on, I was talking to my parents about it. My mom's like, "Hey, I already know that when you set your mind to something, you're gonna make it happen. So, you know, my opinion is out of it." You know what I mean? I just know how your mind is and how you're set up. So, you know, I wish you the best of luck. But as far as like flex, nah, you know, when it first happened,
Hey, what's going on, family? Do not forget to check out the music that inspired the movement, PDL. This project is by yours truly, Quintrell Lenore. It's streaming on all major platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, you name it, go check it out. This project was produced by Dilly Got It Bumpin'. It's awesome music to help you guys stay motivated and to worship in this season.
I went up, literally, this is how it happened. Like I had my first beat, within a month, it hit 1 million views. And so, and it was my birthday. Literally, it hit 1 million views on my birthday. And so I went up to my parents' house to like hang out, enjoy, you know, celebrate my birthday and stuff. And it was just like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to make it like a braggy situation, but it was just a great, I was turning 30, beat just hit 1 million views. I'm at my parents' house celebrating. So it was kind of like me letting them know, and they were happy, you know what I mean? So it was like more of like a joyous time. They were like, "Put it up on the TV," pulled it up, played it. It was a good time. As far as flex, I think it was more just like educating them that you don't have to just do it one way. You can do it how you want to.
Yeah, no, that's good. And it's funny because one of the things as I'm crafting, you know, the questions that I wanted to ask you is like all throughout the time that I've known you, you've always come off as a humble guy. And I think it's important for whatever venture that we're doing. Like we certainly have like are very flamboyant folks in the world. We need a balance of our Kanye Wests. We need some folks that are gonna be unapologetic and outgoing.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I think that like there's a level of humility that comes with whatever you do. And like that's one quality that I can sort of pick up about you as you move through being a creative, being a business person, as a husband, even reflecting on your time as a student athlete. You will always come across as somebody that's like it's always the quiet people that you have to be sort of mindful of, because those are the ones that are going to be successful. And that's sort of the vibe that I picked up from you, man.
Purpose driven living, that's the motto. Purpose driven living, boy, that's the motto.